Hi and welcome to this travelmentary. In this video, I'm going to show you a trip that I made some time ago. It's a rail trip with the TGV Lyria from Paris to Zürich. We start at Paris Gare de Lyon, which you see right now. From there we go in southeastern direction to Dijon, our first stop. After that we travel to Mulhouse, our last stop on French soil. Then we cross the border to Switzerland. And finally, we're going to arrive at Zürich's main train station. The whole journey has a duration of 4 hours and 3 minutes. The TGV needs that time to cover an airline distance of approximately 300 miles. Here I'm at Gare de Lyon and my ticket gives me access to a lounge, the Salon Grand Voyageur. Let's see what it looks like. But what can you expect at this place? It's like most, if not all, train station lounges in France. They don't come with many features. You might have seen the Thalys lounge at Gare du Nord, and I have also visited other lounges in France, and they were all kind of spare. Here it's the same thing. You can get some water, but other than that, there's not much else you could do. Basically, it's a waiting room. Alright, time to leave.
Au revoir. Merci.
Bon voyage, she said, which leads me to a community question. Have you ever traveled with the TGV, the French high-speed train? If so, what was your trip like? Was it a bon voyage for you? But what does it actually cost? Well, technically, you could travel with the Lyria for €26 if you book long in advance and travel in coach class. The cheapest first-class ticket that I found cost €58. The highest booking class is called Business Première, and I paid €226 for my ticket. That's rather expensive, isn't it? What do you get for that? The cabin is better, you get newspapers and magazines. A good hot meal is included as well, and so are drinks and lounge access. And while I'm boarding the train, let me give you some more facts. Therefore, I created a new animation. The train used is a TGV 2N2 Euroduplex, a double-decker high-speed train made by Alstom. That type of rolling stock was exported to Morocco as well. This is the old Lyria design. Starting from December 2019, they began changing the cabin and they also introduced other improvements. I intend to test the new version too once the current situation allows that. Anyway, here I'm in the upper deck and the seat layout is 2-1. The seats are comfortable, but not as special as in the Frecciarossa in executive class. I booked a single seat and the seat reservation system worked fine. We are leaving Paris Gare de Lyon. The weather is bad, which makes filming quite cumbersome. As we are getting out of Paris, you can spot some neighborhoods that most tourists usually won't see. This, for example, is Alfortville, famous for its large Armenian community. Well, what she said is that they have a defibrillator on board. That's good to know, isn't it? Oh, and here I got this little towel, pretty much like in business class on a plane. Let's enjoy some out-of-the-window footage. I will continue with my review in 48 seconds.
Is equipped with a defibrillator in the bar coach. The device can be used by anyone in case of emergency, without waiting for the train manager. The bar buffet in the middle of our train is now open. To avoid disturbing other passengers.
Oui, je voudrais bien le paleron de bœuf et peut-être le pinot noir.
Oui.
Ah oui, d'accord. Et aussi un peu d'eau.
Ladies and gentlemen, our train is about to leave.
Je vais faire l'entrée.
Ah oui. Ah, merci beaucoup.
Qu'est-ce que vous voulez boire, monsieur? Vous avez dit du vin, c'est ça?
Oui, le pinot noir.
Le vin d'Alsace.
Oui.
Croustillante.
Un plein.
J'ai du pain nature à vous proposer aux céréales.
Pas nature, c'est bon.
Est-ce que vous voulez du beurre?
Ah oui.
Merci
Merci beaucoup.
Okay, so this is the starter, and I have to tell everything they serve on the Lyria is top-notch and absolutely delicious.
Et monsieur, est-ce qu'il y a une connexion Wi-Fi ici?
Non,
Non,
ça va
ok.
pas avoir du tout.
Ok.
I asked whether they offer a Wi-Fi connection. On this particular train, that was not the case, but normally you do have access to the internet. And while the onboard food is good, they only carry a limited number of each meal. So for instance, as you heard, I ordered the meat option first, but it turned out that they didn't have it anymore because the passengers ordering before me obviously wanted the same dish. For me that was not a problem, I decided to test the vegetarian meal instead.
Vous avez un peu de vin? Oui.
The meal could absolutely live up to my expectations. The same can be said about the service by the train attendant. He was checking back frequently. I got more wine and bread. This part of Lyria's offering gets a high rating from me. It actually reminded me of the Eurostar, which you can also see on my channel. People sometimes ask me what kind of camera I use. I mainly use 3 different cameras, a mirrorless Sony, then my iPhone and a GoPro. However, if you intend to make trip reports yourself, you don't need that variety of devices. I love all the technology and I like to test new gadgets, but you can create a trip report with just your smartphone. Sometimes I do that too. The fact of the matter is that nowadays a lot of smartphones have impressive specs and a very capable image stabilization. Let's get back to the food again. So this is the vegetarian meal option, and they also brought me 2 pieces of French cheese. In the meantime, we have reached Altkirch, or Altkirch as the Germans say. If you translate it, it means old church. This region has kind of changed ownership several times in its history.
Thé noir, s'il vous plaît.
Okay, here I got the dessert, a biscuit au chocolat, a chocolate cake, along with some tea. Like everything else that they served me on this trip, it's of good quality. This is Mulhouse, our last stop before crossing the border to Switzerland. Mulhouse is known as an industrial city, that's why they call it the French Manchester. Let's do the usual lavatory check. There are no notable features here, it's pretty much a standard train lavatory that you find on any TGV. Now we are finally in Switzerland, in the city of Basel, the country's 3rd most populous city after Zürich and Geneva. It has a very large chemical and pharmaceutical industry. For instance, Novartis and Hoffmann La Roche are headquartered here. As we're waiting here, let me show you the seat features. As I said, it's comfortable, but it's not industry-leading. Legroom is okay, and there's a footrest too, that I never use though. Moreover, a power socket next to your seat allows you to load the batteries of your electronic devices. The seats are somewhat similar to the ones in the Thales. Just like there, they can be electrically moved to a certain degree. So it's not a spectacular cabin, but it's okay. What's not okay for a lot of passengers are delays though. Let's listen to the following announcement.
Mesdames, Messieurs, notre départ est retardé quelques minutes. C'est suite d'un problème technique au train. Nous nous excusons pour ce retard. Merci de votre compréhension.
Well, after some time we are finally leaving Basel. In this part of the video, we are passing some industrial areas. Let's not forget Switzerland is not just mountains, but a technologically advanced nation with a lot of production. Anyway, the train attendant has some news for the passengers.
Meine Damen und Herren, aufgrund eines technischen Problems am Zug fährt unser TGV mit verminderter Geschwindigkeit und wird über Frick, Bötzberg ohne Halt nach Zürich Hauptbahnhof umgeleitet. Die Ankunftszeit in Zürich Hauptbahnhof wird voraussichtlich circa 14:50 Uhr sein. Wir erreichen Zürich mit einer Verspätung von circa 25 Minuten. Für die Verspätung möchten wir uns entschuldigen und danken für Verständnis.
Delays can occur on any trip. I was not affected by it in a negative way, so I could enjoy discovering the Swiss countryside. This is the small town of Frick, located in the canton of Aargau. Especially here you realize that this part of Switzerland is densely populated. Frankly, not all those towns are particularly beautiful in my opinion. So if you want to have a scenic train ride, I would recommend to choose the train from Zürich to Milan, because there you see a lot of mountains and lakes, really nice. I will actually release a video about that trip too.
The train in direction Vienna couldn't wait for you. For a new reservation, please contact the ticket office at the main station in the hall. Next connecting services. In direction Bern-Thun-Spiez-Brig, departure 1502 from platform 31. Direction Talwil-Zug-Lucerne, departure 1504 from platform 6. In direction Zurich Airport, Winterthur, Romanzon, departure 1505 from platform 33.
How to evaluate this trip? You know, with 226 euro, the ticket was quite pricey. While the lounge is not impressive, the onboard product and the service are really convincing in my opinion. The food is very good too, and although the cabin design in this train is not new, it's still comfortable. Yes, there is a delay here, but that can happen on any train. All things considered, this train service does not win in the bang for the buck category, but this was an enjoyable trip for me in most other aspects. Okay, that's it for this time. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day wherever you're watching.